everybody. Thank you all very much. So I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. His name is Takashi-san. Takashi-san is an example of one of 130 million people that relocate to the United States on average annually. And Takashi-san moved to Nashville, Tennessee for a job at Nissan, has a wife and 2 children, and had an experience much like this up top, where I got here, thought, you know, hey, I've got a 780 on my TOEIC exam, and I'm really smart, and I'm a big wig at Nissan, and gets to the grocery store and can't understand the cashier because of regional dialect and phrasal verbs that are used. For about 15 years, I've worked with internationals just like this, like Takashi-san, and every one of them has a story like this. And I worked with them in a service-based business model previously, and I heard them saying the same type of thing over and over again. We used an immersive, contextualized culture and language learning approach that actually integrated them and adapted them into the community. And they would all say the same thing. I wish I had this, I wish I had it before I came, and I wish I had it online. And that's why we began Apto. Now, some cold, hard facts. About 50% of relocations fail prior to completion, and 2/3 of those failures are due to an inability to culturally adjust. So what's the solution? Apto. Apto means adapt in Latin, and it was designed specifically for people who are relocating or traveling for business, study, or even tourism. When you log in, you receive your Apto pass. You are able to select your origin country, your destination country, your destination state and city, and your content populates based on that. So what we've done is we've created a proprietary product with a back end that scales like an XY axis using locale tags and a module authoring tool. Then they can go into their modules and choose scenarios to work through prior to arrival and or at the moment of need. So if you've ever traveled internationally, you've probably had some sort of painful experience. Try to picture that in your mind. And imagine if you had to go back to that country and you had about 60 days notice that you had to move yourself and your entire family, the logistics, etc., the pain that you would feel. Dealing with regional dialects, international accents. And then also for the businesses that we serve, making sure that we've got data-driven analytics to be able to help them to make better decisions, to target their training budgets, to ensure that that $500,000 relocation budget and investment doesn't get reduced. So a little bit about the team. Again, I am the CEO, Chief Idea Officer, Sales Strategist, and have software experience in enterprise solutions, sales experience, as well as a foreign language acquisition and international business degrees from Miami of Ohio. My co-founder, Orlando Pestana III, also extensive experience in corporate customer experience with Verizon Wireless, also had 2 previous businesses. We've got a great extended family, including our Japan team that has previous experience working for companies such as Rosetta Stone and Berlitz, and has been able to give us a high degree of understanding financial services, which is really important for us because we're working with multinational corporations. Competitive landscape. So you can see here how highly differentiated we are because we've adapted a methodology that's so niche specific. And many of our competitors, Berlitz, Rosetta Stone, are grossing between 400 and 700 or 800 million annually. We hope to conservatively, in 5 years, grow to a $50 million company. Market opportunity. That 130 million people that relocate represents a $40 billion market. 244 going in the reverse direction represents a $60 billion market, so $100 billion opportunity combined. A little bit of... Thank you.
You may have mentioned this, but how many different places could somebody be coming from? And, you know, how does that all work? Seems
sure.
like just
yeah, absolutely.
Amount.
So, I mean, theoretically, they could be coming from an infinite number of places to the United States with our current product. And they could be going to 197, I believe we have 197, so roughly 200 cities with locale tags currently in the United States. In order to provide translations specifically, the unit economics for moving into a market of that are about 30,000 on average, so anywhere from 20 to 40,000. So it's not difficult. With our business model, an average annual license is about 1,300. So you get a mid-sized opportunity. It moves you into a new market for translations.
Who is paying for the solutions? Is it the companies that are relocating? Is it the users? And
Yeah,
what if you
no,
just
that's a
have
great
someone
question.
who's switching jobs, like how do you use this?
We have a B2B model as well as a B2B2C as well as a B2C. So typically a company would pay for a contract, but we also do have the option to be able to reimburse through the company, to use the company as a channel partner. We've also attracted a lot of attention from offline solutions that want to use us as a blended learning solution for them as a partner. Additionally, someone could go sign up today for a free trial and convert right at the point of purchase.
I think you were getting to this on the next slide, but how many customers do you have now and what are their profiles?
Yes, great. So we are early stage. We just recently launched. We've got 4 current early adopters, which include Nissan, Bridgestone, a division of Mitsubishi, Mitsubishi Polysilicon, and American Yazaki Corporation. And each of them utilize our services for slightly different reasons. For example, Bridgestone, they are largely concerned with the happiness of the spouse and the children, and we really focus on how to get the families educated through this so that retention is not a problem for them. For Mitsubishi, they're in Mobile, Alabama, or Theodore, Alabama, actually, and so trying to get their Japanese sales personnel, for example, to be able to interface with American sales personnel in the Deep South and all of those cultural issues, this has been a great solution for them because even though the scenarios can be very generic, can also get very granular in working with the nuances of language and culture in a context.
I didn't see a CTO on the slide. Where's the technology being built?
We are using, on our strategic partners slide, Dozen, which is a local boutique operation here in Nashville. And we've worked very, very well with them as an extended partner.
It sounds like very specific content, Japanese businessmen in Alabama. Who's generating the content now and what's your plan at scale?
Yeah. So we have an MVP of over 70 scenarios currently. And then as I mentioned with our content tool, content populates real time. So we're actually pulling from a variety of sources through an easy to integrate template. Our creative content director, Campbell, oversees that process and oversees our vendors. But our next step, and in fact what this 50,000 would, less than this 50,000 would enable us to do, would be to continue the build out of our community knowledge base, which is our long-term goal. We want to actually be able to take people from, oh my gosh, I found out I'm relocating, all the way to working through the scenarios to actually connecting with community partners at local levels, which is also good for foreign direct investment recruitment as well as the local economy. So with that crowdsourcing component, we'll be able to gather content real time all around the globe. Peers will be able to contribute, internationals who have already relocated, and it creates kind of a one-stop shopping or a GitHub of sorts for culture and language learning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.